Hello, I'm Colin Green, and you are listening to Spike Pit, episode 67. In this episode, I am continuing my discussion with John Large of Red Dice Diaries. Hopefully, he'll be making it to Dragonmeet in London on Saturday the 1st of December 2018. And if he gets there, we'll be having a chat. And hopefully, I'll be also talking to Gavin Norman, talking about what he's got coming up. I'll try and grab an interview with him and anybody else that I can bump into. I'm helping out at the event. I'm going to be based in the trade hall, I believe. So a lot of folks will be passing by me. And I'll be keeping my eyes open for Ian Livingston of Games Workshop and Fighting Fantasy fame, amongst other things. When we was arranging this little chat, you mentioned some freelancing work. Would this be in connection with the Midlands stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a little bit of freelancing before. The most, I've put like a few sort of odd bits and pieces up on drive-through that I've done myself. I did like a few sort of little like pay what you want sort of Fate things, and I did like a sort of pirate setting that I did with Lloyd for like Fate that we put up on drive-through. And right. Then I got involved with Raging Swan Press. They do a lot of sort of Pathfinder sort of system neutral and like D&D sort of style stuff, and a lot of it's based around like random charts, which, as you know, I'm a big fan of. And they did like a competition where they were doing a book called Langard Locations, which is for like Langard, like one of the big cities in their sort of like implied campaign world. To anyone who wants to like get involved with it, the idea was you did like an A4 page, so many words describing a location in this city. And I was like, all right, okay, I'm going to do like this this weird sort of like little shop of horrors style like garden shop where this guy's got like all these like plant sort of servants that he's like created from these unfortunate peasants that are like his workers, like his sort of slave labour force. And I did that and I wrote it up, and they're like, oh, that came back to me. They're like, oh, that's really cool. We love it. But we're actually doing a second book called Langard Locations, like the Fish Ambles, which is like the dockyard district. And they're like, we think with like a little bit of tweaking, this location would be like amazing for that book. So would you be up for putting it in that instead and just like making a few tweaks? And I was like, yeah, no problems. Cool. So I did that, tweaked that. That got put into that book. That was the most recent thing I've finished. And then I was chatting to Glenn Seal about like the Midlands, just, you know, congratulating him on like his any win and stuff like that. And he was chatting to me because I'd used the sort of Gomans, which are like the Midlands version of like the Romans, in one of my recent campaigns, and I'd sort of used like an undead version of them, and I'd talked about like the great like Hadrian's Wall and stuff like that.
And that's the Rose of Westhaven,
yeah. And he was talking about. All right, I'm thinking of doing something with the Gomans soon. I just sort of said offhand, you know, like, oh well, if you're looking for someone to do like a bit of writing for, you know, like, let me know. Thinking nothing will come of it, and and he was like, oh yeah, if you're interested, I'm looking to write like a short adventure that's probably going to be released in softback. This sort of amount of words. Would you be interested in like doing the writing for it? And I was like, nice. I was like, yeah. Great stuff. And we chatted a bit, and he was like, oh well, if you do the writing and sort out play testing and stuff like that, and you do like your rough maps, I'll sort of draw them up all nice and do like the layout of and everything, and we'll split whatever profits are left over out, because obviously it's on OBS and drive through, and they obviously take their cut. He was like, and we'll just split it 50-50 however it goes down.
Wow.
He's like, you might not make anything of it, but you know. And I was like, oh, great, you know, like I say, it's another creative outlet.
Brilliant.
So I'm sort of working on that at the minute. I'm about sort of 3/4 of the way through with the writing. I did all the sort of maps I've done have been very like rough sketch maps done on like Photoshop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did like one. It's set in like a village in like a sort of small valley near like Hadrian's Wall. And I sent a rough of that across to Glenn, and he came back to me like a couple of days later, and he was like, "Oh, here's like a rough sketch of." That I've like done for what I'm thinking of for like this map when I like finish it off. He's like, what do you reckon to this? And like sent me a quote, and I was like, I was like, what about a rough sketch? That looks amazing. I was like, compared to mine where it's just like outline drawings in like Photoshop and whatever. So I'm about. The basic idea is it has like a village in it, and there's like a couple of small like dungeons in it, and it's like a small location with an adventure sort of built into it. And we've pretty much got a couple of the maps Glenn's sort of pretty much done. And the writing's about 3/4 done. I've got a couple more sketch maps to do that I'm then going to send off to Glenn for him to like work his magic on. And then I think it's just going to be a bit of play testing, probably send it out to a few people, see what they think, get a bit of feedback, and then hopefully we should be good to go getting that put out as like say he's on about doing like a sort of print on demand, like soft cover I think he was talking about doing.
Yeah, that sounds perfect, yeah. And like a digest format, so it's in keeping
That's
with
it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean that's great for me because I'd love to get involved with like doing more OSR freelancing. And like the Midlands, it's one of the campaign settings. It's one of the most enjoyable ones I've like looked at in ages because, like, so I mean, I started in like the old sort of Warhammer Fantasy roleplay where it's like a sort of a weird twisted version of like Europe, and for me, Midlands is just like that, but for England and like the surrounding sort of countries. I like the fact as well that it's like where Ireland is in Midlands. It's got like a placeholder for like the Dolmen Wood that Gavin Norman's doing. Or has done, and he's doing like the sort of the compiled book, which I think is coming out in 2019 at some point.
I think they're looking tentatively around May. I think early in May kind of time because I think the BX Essentials compendium is coming out.
Yeah, 'cause obviously we were both in that chat that Gavin and I forget the other guy's name who they've like joined forces with. They sort of did recently, and they're talking about it. Yeah.
Because I popped on there once I figured it out. The links were not working for me at all. I think I ended up jumping back on my phone, and then I see you there. It's like, oh, hi, Colin.
That's it. That's another thing where we were talking about like trying to encourage people. That was something where I've never been involved with like Aethicon, which I know that sort of interview was for. But having seen, I'm a great admirer of like BX Essentials and like the work Gavin's done on Dolmen Wood. So I was like, even if I can only jump on for like 15 minutes just to say like hi and ask a few questions, again, it's feedback and it's sort of saying to people like, oh, you're not just like screaming into the wind. Like some people are listening, and want to get involved. So I think it's important to do that.
Yeah, it's really good that. Gavin's so receptive to talking to people and everything. And to be fair, why wouldn't you? It's quite a niche thing. And from that chat on that Aethicon, I jumped in the next day. Gavin ran a game in Dolmen Wood.
Yes, I saw you'd like bagged the space in that.
Yeah. And that was really fun. And it turns out that I think he's probably going to be using that adventure in the Kickstarter when he does the Dolmen Wood setting book.
But I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing like the Dolmen Wood book. Due to like my epilepsy, I struggle to read like PDFs on a screen for a long period of time. So it's like I've got the sort of like the magazine versions that they've done so far that like go together to make the setting in PDF. But generally, if I'm going to run a game, I like to have a hard copy. It's like I've got all the Midlands stuff in like PDF, but I've also got the hard copies just because I knew I was going to run that as a campaign. So I can't wait to see the Dolmen Wood book come out because then I'll actually have like a solid book and I can be like, yes, I can now like run this as a campaign.
Definitely, and I'm much the same. I haven't got the epilepsy, but I just get flustered when I get involved with the technology because I'm just not au fait. I don't know. It all just goes pear-shaped when I try and do it when I'm running. I've got to just have it there. So there you go. John's a busy man, I know. Apparently, since recording this episode, he's been making progress on his work with Glyn Seal, and I noticed he just dropped an episode yesterday, I believe, of Red Dice Diaries, talking about what he's up to. And I really enjoyed that episode. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. In other news, Kalmata is looming in the distance. I've got Arfed coming round in around an hour's time. We're going to roll up some BX characters using Gavin Norman, aka Necrotic Gnomes, BXE Essentials book. And some house rules from Jason Hobbs. There'll be no halflings or elves, and I'm gonna try and record that, see how it goes. Perhaps throw that onto an episode in the very near future. But really looking forward to that, and looking forward to Jason's game on Sunday for Hobbsapalooza. Now for some call-ins. I've got a few waiting in the wings, so let's see who's up first.
Hello, Colin. This is Jason with Random Screed. I'm really happy and almost beside myself with all the attention you're giving Kalmata. And I know it's kind of a confusing thing, and part of that is because you get a lot of conflicting information. Like Matt is confused. He was talking about Forlorn Shore, which I actually ran for him. There are no halflings or elves in Kalmata. So what he was talking about is not even good information. I really want to do a Kalmata episode, and I think I will do that for episode 100, but I'm kind of wondering if I should wait until I get home to do it. I can't decide. I'd like to have you maybe be on and ask questions, though, on Random Screed. So have a listen, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, that would be a great episode to do of Random Screed, Jason. Thanks for calling in. Yeah, it does get a little bit confusing. I guess if you've never played in either of those settings, they kind of sound of a similar vein, and then you've got the same GMs like yourself and Eric. Would it be Eric Hoffman and maybe Carl? I forget now. But it all kind of gets a little bit mixed up. So if you could throw a little bit of light on that, I'm sure I'm not the only one who would appreciate it. And man, good stuff. Thanks for calling in. Next up, this is somebody a lot of you are going to recognise. Always puts a spring in your step and a smile on your face.
Hey Colin, it's Ivy from the Happy Whisk. I don't have a whole lot to offer other than to say, do where the fire in your belly is and what you want to share on podcasting. I think that's what you should go with, because that's where you're going to have the most passion, and people are going to pick that up and they're going to listen and they're going to enjoy it. So I say follow the fire in the belly.
New to get started.
Hey Colin, it's Tim Shorts from Gothridge Manor. Just got done listening to one podcast. You asked whether we'd like to hear a podcast about board games and how they're related to RPGs. Hell yeah, that'd be really interesting. Absolutely. So my vote, you got one vote for yes for that one. So thanks for the suggestion. I think that'll be interesting.
Boom! There you go. It's a combination from the Shorts. Maybe short by name, but we are not short of call-ins. Cheers, Ivy. I try and go with my feelings as much as I can. I left a call in about schedules and the nonsense of the tyranny of schedules. I'm glad you're getting your podcast going and you're getting lots of call-ins. And Tim Shorts, as ever, thanks for your call-in. And yeah, the Board Game Brothers, it's recorded, it's in editing. I've got the first one about ready to launch. I just got so much stuff at the minute. I don't know which way to turn, and I don't want folks to overdose. As it is, this is the second episode. I released one yesterday, one today. There's a good chance I might do one tomorrow. But listen, folks, I'm relying on you. If you've had enough, you need to sort of, let me know. I don't know how you do that nicely. Anyways, yeah, thanks for calling in, guys. I always appreciate it, and I look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Hey, Colin, Joe the Lawyer here. Just wanted to touch base. I was driving home listening to your podcast, and you had that, the most recent one, you had that warning about foul language and, hide your sensitive young kids or whatever. I'm like, son of a bitch. I got drunk and I left him too much Captain Morgan. I left him I drunk dialed him. Like Christ, I don't remember. So it was a pleasant surprise to realize when you actually played it, it wasn't me, it was somebody else. That was nice. As to the whole thing you're coming up with, the whole calamari thing, good luck, dude. Judging by the name, there's going to be a lot of octopusi, whatever, I don't know, and squids. So have fun at calamari. All right, later, dude. Bye.
And there you go, Joe the lawyer, keeping it real. Yeah. Calamari. What a classic, man. You cracked me up, Joe. You're the man. Seriously, I think you're the funniest guy on Anchor. Listen, look, in all seriousness, I left you a message a little bit earlier, and I hope you and Tenkar have a great time in your New York City there, the Big Apple. Have a few drinks, and yeah, man, don't forget to toast Spike Pit, yeah, and your friends in the UK. And there you go, that's about it. I haven't got a lot to add. I just wanted to put another episode out for everybody. I had such great call-ins, thanks to Joe, the Shorts, and last but not least, the Hobster himself. I hope you're all doing well, and look forward to hearing from you again soon. Now, if anybody... I must not forget to thank John Large for his spending some time talking to me about what he's up to. And if anybody's listening who's in the UK and they're at Dragonmeet on Saturday, the 1st of December 2018, I will be there. It's most likely you can find me down in the Traders Hall, and I'd love for you to swing by, introduce yourselves, let us know what you're up to. Maybe we could record a little bit of audio, talk about what you're into, and yeah, look forward to it. I'm real stoked about it. And following on from that, like I say, Hobsapalooza on the 2nd. I'll probably be fairly knackered out, but I'll soon rustle up some enthusiasm, no doubt. Okay, take care, look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later.